Hey guys, Clumsy here and welcome back to ETS2. Lots of news, lots of things happening. So I thought I'd make another episode and some couple of new things as well in this video particularly. So pay close attention to the ground textures, the road textures, because I have now Project NextGen 1.8. The official release is on the 29th of September this weekend, but my donation was long overdue. I finally was able to donate to Damien and I got an early access copy of the Project NextGen 1.8. So take a closer look at the ground textures, okay? And let me see. Also, I have one more thing. I have fallen to the dark side. I'll explain more, but we have now ReShade. It's not yet enabled and I only have, as you can see here, can you see that? I think you should be able to see that. No coloring, no fancy effects whatsoever. These are only for anti-aliasing, to remove the jagged edges, the flickering edges you see from the far there and from the diagonal lines. So I'm not really sure how it works. I'm just going with the default settings for now. What I heard is a good combination is SMAA, this guy, FXAA, and Luma Sharpen. Those three in concert and at that same sequence. So I'm not really sure, but we'll do a test drive and you guys let me know if you notice any difference. I do notice the flickering is lessened, but I think performance is suffering just a little bit, although right now it's still super smooth, right? But anyway, let's test that dark side. Don't ask me how to install it yet because I am a complete noob at this, but we will try to observe first, and if it works, if it looks good, then maybe we can include it in our staple graphics settings, alright? So keep your eyes peeled. Project NextGen 1.8 and ReShade anti-aliasing settings. Also, if you have ReShade specific anti-aliasing settings you can share with me, let me know. Don't share some links in the comments immediately though, because YouTube hates links. You might notice I don't reply to YouTube comments with links. It's not that I don't reply to them, it's just that YouTube hides them by default and I'm not able to review each and every one. So usually those with links get culled, disappear from the list. So yeah, don't put in some links, but give me some hints on what I can get. The negative effect of having these anti-aliasing options is when you're in the menu, it's a bit blurred. Because that, in essence, that's what anti-aliasing does. So look at this, super crisp. And you can only see this if you're in full screen. If I start enabling that, you'll see the text starting to blur more and more. Although Luma Sharpen does help fight against that a bit, I think. Anyway, as I mentioned, I am no expert. So we will have to wing it. Oh, speaking of pro mods. Yeah, that's one of the updates. Let's go with that. And we are headed from Lithuania, from, how do you pronounce, Klaipėda to Ploch. I have no idea. To the center of Poland. Okay, because I think with Project NextGen 1.8, in addition to the ground textures, there have also been a lot of improvements on the signage in Poland. Because I think Damien is Polish. So far so good. So I do have everything, all the graphics settings I mentioned in my quote-unquote secret to realistic graphics. So I have 400% scaling, I have NaturaLux, I have Project NextGen, and now I have ReShade anti-aliasing settings as well. That's all to fight against the jagged edges, the mortal enemy of any virtual trucker. And I think it does help, although it does not remove those jagged edges altogether. I think it does help quite a bit. It makes things a lot smoother, a lot more natural, less jagged edges and shimmering textures, if you can call it that. Pro mods, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's go and proceed with the route. It's going to be 574 kilometers, so might as well get going. Yeah, I've fallen to the dark side. I mentioned in my graphics settings video that I don't use ReShade. But you guys are very convincing that ReShade is not the enemy. ReShade is a tool, and if used correctly, can help improve the graphics quality, the image quality, without introducing any of those mumbo jumbo color corrections. It's all up to the settings that we use. And so far, I think this one I am liking. But we'll see how it plays into the optimization. Because 400% plus all these anti-aliasing post-processing from ReShade might not be very friendly in performance, but it might be very friendly for image quality. So yeah, if you have any graphics settings you can share with me with the ReShade anti-aliasing parameters, because there are quite a few, like I know edge detection threshold, number of passes and whatnot. I don't know the technical details, but it all sounds fancy, and I've been trying to read up on it, but it's quite complicated, so I don't really understand everything yet. Anyway, let's leave that topic and just focus and enjoy the textures and the anti-aliasing techniques. Also, you might have noticed, no more mirror cam. I got a bit irritated with the stopping mirrors, so I brought back the normal mirrors. Plus, some of the folks are not huge fans of it. So let's get back to basics, get back to vanilla, so to speak. Moving on. In terms of updates, you guys might have seen it already. It's been all over. Oh, speaking of all over, this bridge is all over me. Sorry, not a very good transition. Let's save there. I'll take a screenshot there later. Fancy sports car with fancy lights. I'm not sure how you call that. Shining GTA lights. Just looks like a GTA car. So you might have seen it already. A couple of news items. First is Renault Range T. It should be coming out today, I think, when this video gets released. So maybe when this video is released, Renault Range T has been released already. But the hope is it gets released before the Clumsy trucking stream, because if it does, then we are going to show it. We are going to feature it and check it out in detail. 3 hours worth of Renault Range T goodness. That's the hope. You will see. Anyway, by the time you watch this, actually, maybe the stream will be over already. Yeah, I get confused with the timing. Forget what I said. It might be a bit too late with that, what I'm talking about. I should have turned left there. Turn left here. Okay, we'll turn left here and be bad citizens. We'll cover this guy. He might get mad at us though. We'll see. I am noticing pretty high GPU load. I'm at 70% at the moment. And this is in a very optimal SCS optimized area in the Baltic. So, but we'll see. I think I'll also gas up here. I do notice that we do not have the healthiest tank. Less than half left. So in addition to the Renault Range T, we also now have, you might have seen it, the announcement for Pro Mods 2.42. Now I'm not sure specifically if there are new areas in 2.42, but the main feature is the integration with Truckers MP. Yeah, you heard it right, in case you haven't heard the news or seen the videos. Truckers MP will now feature soon a Pro Mods compatible server. Now I'm not sure how it works, how the entire process will work, like if you have to download stuff and things like that. But that is very promising, and it looks like when that happens, it's going to be time to schedule a convoy again, because it would be amazing to drive in MP with you guys and in Pro Mods country. That's the dream. The only thing left then would be to have EVR sounds. But yeah, we can't get everything in one go. Baby steps, baby steps. I'll take what I can get. So yeah, pro mods in Truckers MP, convoy with you guys. Really looking forward to that. And in line with that, because we won't have mods, other mods in Truckers MP most likely. So I'll have to get into, ooh, fancy. Is that a Lamborghini? Of course, I don't have a clue what I'm talking about, but it just did look like that. So it will be, I will need to use ReShade more aggressively when that happens, because as you guys might know, ReShade is a very powerful injector. I think they call it a shader injector. So basically what it does is it adds effects to your games. Like the game renders, and then ReShade adds more effects on top of that. So this anti-aliasing that we are testing right now, that is part of ReShade. Other effects or shaders are like color corrections, changing the brightness and whatnot, so advanced settings that are beyond me. But some of those settings can alter the tint, much like how NaturaLux does it. The only tricky thing is you have to know the correct combination to make it natural. Otherwise, it will look very fake. Oh, that guy's going out. My bad. Go. You too. Oh. Alright. Very aggressive drivers. I'm liking the anti-aliasing so far. So it's a plus in my books at the moment. But we'll see when things start getting frame heavy and see if we still like the trade-off, because for sure it has some performance impact, and as always our mileage may vary. So yeah, take this tip, not really tip, this effect with a grain of salt. It might not work for every PC, it might just lag you down. But if you have like a monster PC and you're looking for the best image quality, then this might be the best combo. NaturaLux, Project Next Gen, and then all the anti-aliasing settings in ReShade. Oh my goodness, look at that bridge. Beautiful. Now the question is, which bridge should I take a shot off? I think I'll take this one. I think this is the winner. You guys wanna? You know what? I'll give you guys a treat. I know for some people this is the only part you're craving for. Nah. Probably not, but yeah, I'll take you guys with me, because look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. Only thing is we have to really make that work somehow. Shoo, that's beautiful. But yeah, that definitely works. And with the improved anti-aliasing, the bridges look much better because the diagonal lines don't really hurt. Don't really have that jagged, shining quality in them, especially from afar. Yeah, these diagonal lines from the Actros, from the grill, that usually just super jagged and just like vibrates all over the place. But with the anti-aliasing settings we've done, albeit very basic anti-aliasing settings, I have not tweaked them at all, they are actually improving the picture already. I like it. And of course we have the beautiful skies from NaturaLux. But I was saying, so whenever we are ready for that convoy, mods will not be allowed. So we won't have NaturaLux, we won't have Project Next Gen, we won't have EVR sounds, but we can use ReShade to, and on top of anti-aliasing, we can add some color correction. If you don't want that reddish default tint of the game, then I'm sure we can find some ReShade, some shaders to apply and try and mimic as much as possible the tint from NaturaLux, like this very natural tint. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that I see in the SES forums there are also a couple of guys who working on ReShade and SweetFX. I'm still confused what the relation is. Like ReShade and SweetFX, they sound the same to me. But I guess they just are comprised of different effects. So some people like ReShade and SweetFX, but for me, I think ReShade should be more than enough for now. I am absolutely loving the image quality right now, though. Much less flickering in the distance, especially. That is absolutely amazing. Wow. I'm loving this, guys. I'm not sure about you, and I'm not sure if it's even visible in YouTube, but yeah, I can definitely feel the difference. I think I'll keep this. And for those of you with high performance PCs, give it a go. It's not the it's not the hardest thing to do. You just let me give you some very rough instructions, okay, if you want to try this out for yourselves. I'll probably make a more official video with more easy to follow instructions when we get more used to the settings and get more acquainted with what's happening. But for now, if you want to do this, you can do the following. Google ReShade, and there's an official site for ReShade. Click download, yes, and then double click that download, that executable that you download. Right, so what it will do, there will be a window that will pop up. It will ask you for the executable, the game executable. So go to your Steam folder, ETS2, bin 64 or something, choose the 64-bit. And then if you're, slow down here, if you're using DirectX 11, and I hope you are, then make sure to also choose DX10 Plus, because there will be like 3 radio buttons, I think, DX9, DX10 Plus, and OpenGL. So pick the middle radio button, DX10 Plus, and then from there will be a tutorial. It will ask you if you want to download some of the default shaders. Choose yes, and then uncheck everything. Just check 3 things for now. SMAA, that's what do you call it? Subpixel morphologic anti-aliasing, something like that. SMAA, Sierra Mike Alpha Alpha. Number 2 is FXAA. Don't ask me what that means. And then what was the third one? Luma something. Let's see. Luma Sharpen. Yeah, those 3 you see on the left side of the screen. And then order them like that. SMAA, FXAA, and Luma Sharpen. I know it's not very descriptive, but try it out and let me know if you like the effect. So far, I am absolutely loving it. Minimal flickers and minimal jagged edges. Initially, I was not so wowed with the effect of it. You know what? Let's do something. Since we're experimenting anyway, let's turn them off and drive for a couple of minutes without it. Because you can turn them on and off. I think there's even a hotkey you can set, probably this effect toggle key, where you can turn everything on and off you're just using a hotkey, not even going to the menu. But I'm super noob, I haven't even tried it yet. Okay, so now there are no anti-aliasing settings. Let me know if you notice any difference. I am noticing, yeah, look at those fences and how they are like blinking in and out of existence. That's usually some kind of anti-aliasing. That's usually some kind of aliasing, rather. That's one of the side effects. That's one of the things that the anti-aliasing effects are trying to fix. So the grainier it is, the more obvious the effect. Yeah, look at that. Let's test that. The graininess of those railings and how they shine. So when we enable it, SMAA, FXAA, and Luma Sharpen. Take note, all of these are default settings. This is what I'm asking about. If you have more optimal settings for ETS2, let me know. Well, I guess they're still there, but they are more controlled, maybe. Or maybe it's a placebo effect. You know, like you are expecting it to change. That's why in your brain it changes, even if it doesn't really. So I'm looking for more objective comments from you guys because I am blinded by this. So let me know if you notice any difference, okay? Alright. It does look cooler on the eyes, this one, even though it blurs the picture a bit. I think it's easier on the eyes, and if you're trucking for a long time, this might be very good. So yeah, try it out and let me know. Okay? So yeah, those are the main announcements I have. Project Next Gen, September 29 release. That's 1.8. Reno Range T should be out by the time you're watching this video. Should have done the stream as well, and don't worry. The next day, the stream should be live in YouTube, and you can watch it. Full 3 hours worth of Reno Range T goodness. Hopefully. And Pro Mods 2.42 together with Truckers MP. It's going to be amazing. What's up with my high-toned voice? So yes, those are the things that you can look out for. You know, a couple of weeks ago we were wondering what's cooking, like what's happening in the trucking world. It's very quiet. And yeah, now we are getting a glimpse of what's happening. All in the ETS2 world, but things are still cooking on the ATS side, so we just have to have a bit more patience there. And that's why I don't have any ATS videos coming out recently, because all the action has been happening on ETS side. Okie dokie. Can I move there? I think I can, right? It should be one way. Only thing is I'm blocking the other lane as well. Not very friendly. Actually, yeah, that other side doesn't even have a barrier. And we're not really blocking it for the full way. Cars can still squeeze in if they just scooch over a bit. Okay, anyway, distance check. Wow, 433 kilometers. Okay, it's going to be a long episode, guys. It's going to be a very long episode. Is this one way? I think so. No, not really. My bad. My bad. So let's go and head to the Q&A portion of the episode. Wow, this feels like a beauty pageant now. Q&A. A while ago was the talent portion where I showed my anti-aliasing skills. Not really. Kaliningrad, I'm guessing that is. Ooh, look at that! Oh, what is that name of this van again? Oh, you guys told me about it already. A famous hippie van, let's call it that. The hippie van. Anyway, alright, so Captain Smokey had a very interesting question, and I remember I answered this before, but I think I will have a completely different answer now. And that's just how it is. We go through different changes in life as we go. So Captain Smokey asks, if you needed to choose YouTube as a job versus the job you have now, I guess basically it's like, which would I choose? If I can choose to do something full-time, but I can't have both, which would I be choosing? Why would you choose it? Take note, both gives you a salary every month, but not the same amount. Okay, that's reasonable. So let's say, let's give out a couple of scenarios here, okay? Let's say at this particular moment I had to choose, this exact moment. No other conditions, just whatever I have in YouTube versus whatever I have in my full-time work. Choose and go. Well, if I had a choice, unfortunately, I would have to choose my full-time work, because right now, what I'm earning in YouTube, well, is far from enough to live. I guess it will be sufficient to live for a day or two. And that's it. I don't really have a lot of earnings, you know. So if anyone is thinking YouTubing makes you rich, maybe for like 0.1% of the people. And it's not like I'm really leveraging the platform enough, so I'm not really doing my best to earn as much as I can, to be fair. Because there are so many techniques, not just the clickbaity ones, but legitimate ones to earn more money. But yeah, at this moment, unfortunately, I cannot survive off of YouTube alone. And I really admire and thank you guys. Have my gratitude for those of you who are really supporting me, not only through watching and commenting and participating in streams and videos, but especially those who are providing monetary benefits, supporting me by subscribing to Twitch, becoming a patron, buying merch. That really helps me a lot, guys. And that's the goal. That's my goal. I hope to eventually grow the community and grow the revenue, the income that comes from this venture, so much so that I do not need to work in IT anymore. And that's one thing I realized. I remembered before, I think my answer was I didn't want to let go of my IT job because I love it. And while that's true, that I love my IT job, it also is very limiting in terms of what I want to do. Like, I only have a very limited time every day to do YouTube, make videos and stream. Ooh, what is that? A guy with a rifle, probably a historic monument. So I only have a very limited time every day because this is not what I do full time. So this is like just spare time that I can get. I will use for making videos and watching or recording videos and doing streams. Yeah, but if this was my full-time work, then I will have so much more time to devote. I'll be able to make much more videos. I'll be able to make much more quality videos. Maybe edited videos with well thought of ideas, because right now most of the things I do are on the spot, right? Like talking to you guys, and I think that's amazing, you know, some kind of real talk with Clumsy. Yeah. But there are times where we want, like, you know, cinematic trailers, short 2-minute videos which highlight things that you need to know about the trucking news, you know, stuff like that. And unfortunately, I don't have enough time to do that much editing and brainstorming because I have a full-time job. But if I can manage to grow the community enough that I'm earning and I can live off of what I'm earning from here, then yeah, I'd be happy to let go of my full-time work. I currently work as an IT consultant, and while the work is amazing, it can also be sometimes very limiting. It's not exactly what I want to do if I had to choose. Like, it's great, I love it, and it's amazing that I can have free time if I manage to finish my work earlier. But at the end of the day, if I look forward, if I look to the future, what I envision, what I want to have, it's not, I don't really dream about being like the CEO of my company, of the IT company, or I don't know, something to that level. I don't really dream about it, you know. I dream more about like having this awesome rig where I can like have a full simulator equipment, streaming with you guys, making more videos and all that fancy stuff. Like, that's what I'm super excited about. My full-time work as an IT consultant is amazing because I get to work on puzzles, get to work with amazing people as well, get to travel as well, and all those fancy stuff, corporate stuff. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's not my dream. It's cool and I like it, I love it, but it's not really my dream. It's just amazing that I found a job which I like enough that I can survive it. Oh, look at those roads, guys. This must be a new texture in 1.8. I absolutely love it. Goodness. And yeah, what I did right now is I enabled Project NextGen 1.8. I have the old line still there. I'm not sure if it's working though. And I have the vegetation still there. But yeah, I'm not sure. But I absolutely love this model. Goodness. Let's have a look at that from here. Oh, don't crash into that guy. Okay, that's as far as I can take the blind driving. Oh, brake. Thank goodness Mercedes-Benz has an amazing braking system. Okay, but yes, that is the dream, guys, and I hope you are happy with that dream, because that means you guys are a part of it. Yeah, it's just such an amazing experience, this YouTubing, that I am willing to forego my full-time work to spend more time with you guys. But yeah, only if I can survive in the process. And not only survive, but thrive as well. So I'm planning to. You guys are probably familiar if you've been watching some of the Q&A episodes before, that I have become recently a fan of personal growth, aka self-help books and podcasts and whatnot. So I starting to work on that, work on the business, like treating YouTubing as not just a hobby but really a business that I have passion for, so that I can grow it. But yeah, a lot of things need to be done. Right now I'm treating it more as a hobby, so it's not very professional, it's not it's very real. Yeah, that's good, and I don't want to get rid of that. But sometimes you also need a level of professionalism in there, not only in the level of quality of videos, but in every aspect, branding, the cover video, what do you call it, cover image, the banner in the YouTube channel. If you go to my channel, look at the banner, it's a very simple white background with the Clumsy Geek, right? I have to improve that, like the intro, the merchandise. You can add so much. And there are so many opportunities, like, I don't know, partnerships, deals, and all that stuff, without selling my soul. That's also the other side of it. This traffic light, that's beautiful. That's very different from the usual traffic lights that we are seeing. That might be Russian specific. Are we still here? Where are we? That's a good question. Yeah, we are still here. That's pretty cool. Okay, and we'll be crossing over to Poland very soon. So these are probably some Russian lights, Russian traffic lights. And those are probably some more Project NextGen stuff. Absolutely love the road textures here. What I don't love though is this super long traffic light. I think it's my turn. There we go. Love it. And you also have the traffic light on the far end of the intersection. That's exactly what I was looking for. Oh, lots of traffic in here. I don't have any traffic mods as far as I know. I do have Traffic Maniacs mods, but I don't think they alter the amount of traffic. Maybe it's just here in Russia. It's really populous. You can see the tuned trucks on the road, and the sports cars and the classic cars. Well, not right now, but yeah, they're there. You can see those jagged power lines are not as jagged anymore. They're still there, but they're not as flickery, and every little bit counts. Almost passed through here again. Almost missed my turn. Beautiful. All right. Ooh, fancy truck, bro. Good choice. Thank you, Russia. Well, after you let us pass, that is. Alright. Yes, what else would I want to share about that? So yeah, it's the long-term goal. I want to do YouTube, Twitch, and basically gaming, or simulating more accurately in the long term, making it really my business and being my own boss and everything like that. But yeah, it's not realistically possible just yet. This is also why I am very much interested in personal finance, because I've been, this is why I started investing in earnest and really saving up my money, making sure it's growing so that I'm not the only one working. My money is also working for me, because the more my money can work for me, the faster I can get to that point where I can leave my job and go full-time YouTube. You know, because just relying on YouTube itself, YouTube and Twitch, I don't think it will be enough. But if I have some investments going on as well, like some rental properties, some stocks, and all the other assets, then it will definitely help. And it will give us that faster turnaround. So that's the main reason why, you know, it's money not for the sake of earning money, but for a goal, which is going full-time here, getting the best rig possible, getting, I don't know, the dream is to get like a full maxed out, spec'd out rig, including those fancy chairs and I don't know, either a high-end VR or a triple monitor, or with the moving chairs, you know, the one which is affected based on how your truck is moving, how the plane is moving. No, that's the dream. My full nerdiness in blossom. Yeah, but yeah, that's the starting point. Having a dream, having a clear path you want to head to, a clear goal, and then the next step is to actually welcome to the EU. We are now in Poland. Keep your eyes peeled, especially on the ground and on the signage. Okay, I think Project Next Gen is at work here. All right. So yes, that's the goal. And yeah, it's a work in progress. I'm sure I can do a lot more, but yes, at the moment I have to compromise, because like with my full-time work, I do get some free time every now and then. But whenever like critical incidents occur and we really have to help out, then I have to like stop my stream, no recording for the day, you know, things like that. And it's frustrating on my end. I'm sure it is on yours as well, but I can't do anything about it at the moment because I am employed and I have to be responsible enough to own up to my role. So for now, we work on a compromise. We slowly start building up, and eventually, yeah, the goal is to fully migrate to a full-time simulation content creator. That's a fancier way of saying YouTuber. Yeah, that's the dream. You know, I was daydreaming the other day of being in that spot, having that awesome rig, and even, you know, having different rigs, you know, having like partnerships with the different computer dealers, PC part dealers, and like, you know, those YouTubers who have like different rigs and they like create new PCs every day or so. No, that's also one of my interests. That's like PC building sim, but not just a sim, just PC building, and then doing benchmarks specifically for simulator related stuff, like focusing on truck sim, focusing on X-Plane, instead of focusing on the AAA games. Because usually what we see is like we have a lot of YouTube channels out there who are experts at building rigs and doing benchmark scores, but they are oftentimes centered on the normal games, you know. And if you compare like the normal AAA games, compare them to simulators are very under optimized, right? If you compare them with AAA budgets and optimizations. Usually simulators are single core, single threaded architecture and stuff like that, and it's not very optimal. So what works for a AAA game might not work necessarily for a simulator. There are specific things, and also of course the equipment, reviewing equipment, stuff like that. So that's part of the dream. Although being in Asia, being in Singapore is a bit limiting, because most of the fancy stuff, most of the fancy simulator stuff is in Europe and in the US. But we'll think of something. Maybe I can move there. Yeah. Who knows? But yeah, that's those are some of the dreams that I have, and hopefully you guys are excited by that too. Just to share it too. So it's a complete 180 from the stuff that I was sharing before. But yeah, things change, and I started looking forward, because that's something, honestly, to be completely honest with you guys, I'm not a very goal-oriented person. If you guys have noticed, I'm a very happy-go-lucky person. Like, I try to do my best every time, but I don't really have a clear like goal or a clear direction on where I want to go. Yeah, it's just like go with the flow, do your best, go with the flow, but do your best every time. That was like my motto. And there's this amazing quote from Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, of all things. Was it Winnie the Pooh? Or yeah, I think so. Some character there said it, if not Winnie the Pooh himself. Like, if you don't know where you're going, then does it matter where you're headed? Or something like that. I totally butchered it. My goodness, it was so dramatic. You might know the quote. If you don't know where you're going, then does it matter where you're headed? So something like that. So it's a very eye-opening quote, because it's like, yeah, why would you even wonder? Like, if you're going north, east, west, south, if you don't have a destination in mind, does it matter which road you take? And it's like, well, I do want to have a destination in mind, but it's just so hard to think of a goal, you know, to picture yourself like 10, 20 years from now. That's so hard to picture with so many variables and stuff. But the thing is, it doesn't have to be correct. It doesn't have to be like completely accurate. That's what I keep trying to tell myself. It only has to be there. It has to exist, because you have to have a starting point. You have to have a destination in mind. And even if along the way you find out that it's a very unrealistic expectation or a very unrealistic destination, then you adjust for it. Yeah, for example, in our case, where are we headed? We are headed to how do you say it? Ploch. No, probably not how you say it. Plock. I give up. Let's say we're headed to Warsaw. Yeah, that's the easier way. Warszawa. So, first step is know where we want to go, right? Warsaw, let's say. Second is to look at the map and look which direction we have to go. So from there, then we have a direction. Speaking of Warszawa, there it is. Where have all the cars gone? Have I scared them away? Interesting. So from there, Once we have a destination, once we have a general direction, we start taking it. And then we start detailing it. You know, which exact road, which highway, which exit should we take? And if you find some detours, some construction works, some accidents along the way, then we adjust. But if we don't decide in the beginning that we want to go to Warsaw, how the heck do we even know which direction we should be heading towards? And that was what I was missing all this time. This Warsaw component to complete the metaphor. Yeah, so I was probably headed in a general direction. I knew I was heading, for example, southwest, but nothing more than that. And having that clear Warsaw in mind, that just made things so much clearer for me. And now everything I do is can be traced back to, will this contribute to that point where I want to go? Will this get me to Warsaw, or will this just prolong that trip? You know, or this will just derail me from getting to Warsaw. That's how things go, and that's very much related to this book that I'm reading. It's a very famous book. You probably have heard of it. You probably are sick of it. I didn't pay it any attention before because I hated these kinds of books before, but recently I've been starting to, whoa, those are some low-flying birds. Bird strike? Anyone? Maybe not. But it does happen to trucks, right? Bird strikes. The windshield and stuff. Not only birds, but deers and all the other crossing animals. Risky. But yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, so it's called the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And it might be a cliche, it might be overused, it might be something you're not really interested in. Self-help / personal growth books. But I started reading it and it makes a lot of sense. And what I was talking about, the Warsaw thing, having a Warsaw in mind, that was all part of that topic he had, where he said, start with the end in mind. You know, start with the end in mind. And for us, that's going to Warsaw. And from there, trace it back. So know first where you want to go, and then decide how you go there. Because without that, then you're just wandering aimlessly. And it just opened my eyes, you know. I'm not very fond of making goals, as I mentioned. And I'm still having difficulty with it. Because they say, the book says, this goal setting is more like a left brain thing. I think it's more of a creative, tapping the creative side of you, you know, tapping your imagination, making it work. So if you're not a very creative person, you don't, it doesn't come naturally to you, setting goals. Because you find it hard to imagine what you want to happen. And that's how it is for me. And I'm not a very creative person, but I am very logical. So logical wise, I am more leaning towards the execution, you know, making stuff happen. But knowing what stuff needs to happen, having that direction, that's what I was lacking, and that's what I'm trying to solidify and form day by day. But yeah, it's sorry, I had to get a bit philosophical there, but I hope it helped some of you too. There you go. Alright. How far away are we? 57 kilometers. Can we do one more question? But that was an amazing question, and I wanted really to... Whoa! Why is there a plane in the middle of a farm? Interesting. GTA. Ooh, nice truck. Next gen Scania with some fancy grill lights. Moya. Is that a new gas station? I think first time I've seen that. Granted, I have very good fishy memory, but still. Anyway, hope that helped you out, guys. I really wanted to spend an episode on that because it's such an eye-opener for me, starting with that goal setting, knowing what I want, and discovering that I didn't really want a corporate job. I wanted something which I really enjoyed and had passion about, and that's games, simulators now, and spending time with you guys, and PCs and all the nerdery. And if I can earn and survive and flourish out of doing what I love, why the heck not? Just have to be responsible enough to make it sustainable, make it into a business without selling my soul, without selling out. Trains for our train fans. Very nice. Alright. So thanks for that question, Captain Smoke. Thanks for bringing it up again. Slow down here. There we go. So we have a couple of questions again from Jay. Thanks again, Jay, for refilling the queue. When was the last time you used a screwdriver? What? Okay, very, very different point of view now. When was the last time you used a screwdriver? Interesting. Goldfish memory time, he says. Indeed. Screwdriver, oh my goodness. A couple of months ago. Anything specific? I don't know, maybe when we last assembled the chair from IKEA. You know, everything from IKEA is DIY, right? So that's most likely it. Oh, it looks like it's raining. We'll see how the rain looks with the anti-aliasing ReShade settings. But yeah, I've been really fond of... I've been really getting into the home... getting domesticated recently. And it's not mainly about the handiwork. I'm very bad at that. I don't know how to fix stuff on my own, so I have to call like a handyman. Yeah, but that's one of the realizations I've gone through as well. Like, you don't have to go through everything on your own, and this is why there is such a thing as outsourcing, right? And with outsourcing, you can do anything. So you don't have to be good at everything. You just have to realize it, accept it, and move on. Delegate it. It is like it's almost going to rain, but not quite. Interesting. Very dark outside. Yeah, but not quite raining yet. Alright, let's see. Yeah, only droplets. A very, very gentle rain, I would say. Goodness, we're here already. Time flies. But yeah, so that's why we hired out some handymen to fix some minor stuff in the house. And granted, you might think, well, that's just waste of money. You can do it yourself. And that's true. But I would have to devote a lot of time to learn how to fix each and every one of those broken stuff. And since we're renting out this unit, I don't want to destroy anything and risk it. So I cannot just try it out. You know, if something gets broken, I have to pay for it. So I didn't want to risk it, and I didn't want to devote that time into fixing something, because if instead of learning how to, I don't know, fix a wall or I don't know, fix something in the house, YouTube it, I could make more videos. And yeah, it's always a trade-off. And I decided that I would rather outsource it, pay maybe a bit more, but get that out of my neck and focus more on the things they love doing, instead of scrimping out on money and focusing. So I spend money there But hopefully, I earn also money elsewhere to more than compensate for that while doing the thing that I love. Isn't that amazing? That's the beauty of outsourcing. If you outsource, if you are able to delegate properly, you can get rid of all the things you don't like to do. You can focus on the things you love doing and still get more in the process and contribute more as well. Like if I just fixed my house, then that just benefited me and Mrs. Clumsy for sure. But maybe you guys won't have a video for one day, and because I outsourced that, I got that video released. We are here finally. We got the stuff fixed, and hopefully I was able to make up that expense using the profits I'm getting from here. Yeah, you get that picture? That's the ideal. Doesn't always happen, and at my current phase in my YouTubing career, that's not happening yet, but it's getting there bit by bit, right? Anyway, hope you enjoyed this very long episode. It's been a while. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think about the anti-aliasing settings, alright? ReShade dark side stuff. Please, guys. Okay? Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Clumsy trucking, and I'll catch you in the next one. Looking forward to your comments, guys. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, share with your friends. Thanks, and bye-bye. Clumsy trucking.